Hi, how's it going, guys? So we actually just had lunch right now. Our assistant, Belinda, who lives a little bit outside the city of Merida, about 20 minutes from us, she came in, she bought the stuff that was needed to make pozole. I was excited to learn from her, but my son, Nephi, he was very much like involved, so I didn't want to over bombard her with all these other questions if he was going to be involved with it. But I was listening on, and it looks like a pretty straightforward thing. I asked her how much it costs for pork, and it was like 70 cents a pound, so kind of crazy. And I asked her how much a ribeye would cost, and she's like, about really good one, like around $10, like a really good one. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like $20 in the United States. So, you know, it reminds me how much in the States, we are very much like, everything's so expensive. You know, it's just a lot of expense. So I budgeted this week. I gave her her payment for her work, and then I budgeted some of her gas, and then I also budgeted any kind of things that she can pick up on the way back to the house for us. So, for example, I gave her 2,000 pesos for this next week, which is about $100. And right now, I think the peso's at 19 pesos, and it changes, it varies. So if she runs out, she just lets me know, and I just get some more cash from the ATM, because the ATM charges me about $4 here. And hold on one second. So yeah, the ATM charges about $4, and if I were to send her money via PayPal, the conversion rate, just sending it from my bank or even a credit card, which doesn't give me any transaction fees from my part, but from her part, she gets like 100 pesos off the total. So I thought that was kind of like crazy, because then it's like $5 every time I send her money. So I figured I might as well just send her some cash, so efectivo, right? And so with the rental in the house, just let you know how I got it. So this has been planning, we have been planning this for months, for about 6 months now. And a lot of it, you know, that's another story. But I guess I'll get into a little bit about the expenses on moving. So we put a deposit. Usually you have to, and when you get to Merida, you have to have someone who lives here, who has a house here, who can write that you are gonna be responsible. If you're not responsible, then that person is responsible. But because this house is through a private property management company, and the guy is American, I believe lives in Arizona, that owns this house, which is in the centro of Merida, which we wanted to have. Basically, we had to pay the deposit, which happens to be one of the month's rent. And then before we got here, we paid another the first month's rent. And then a 5,000 peso deposit on, I think incidentals, 4,000 was incidentals, and then 1,000 of it was for the dog. So all that being said and done, we only have one more payment of rent for the next 3 months here in this house. And we chose this house specifically because it had all the dates available that we are gonna live in. So we're gonna be here for 3 months, and then going back in November, and then coming back in January to May. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Honestly, I got the references from an upscale realty for the private company that I'm using right now. So the references checked out. My assistant as well, we got references from her past employers, and everything was pretty clear. And yeah, it's been great, honestly, the move and everything. So right now it's kind of cloudy. It's actually, I was looking at the weather. It doesn't feel hot at all. Like I know in Texas, I'd be like, I couldn't be outside in Texas right now because it'd be just too hot. So right now the weather is 91 degrees and it feels like a 101. But honestly, it feels like 80 degrees to me. 85 maybe, right Sam? Like 85 degrees, it doesn't feel hot. Like I'm a little moist, but not because like I'm sweating profusely. Like in Texas, I would be sweating profusely, just sitting in the shade. So I'm in the shade right now. I don't have a lot of sweat. It's actually really great weather. I know people here say it's too hot, but I guess they just haven't visited South Texas weather. So yeah, this is kind of an update on how we kind of got here. If you guys have any questions in the comments, let me know and I'll put those in. This is just about us moving to Merida. And experiencing the culture here, learning the people. We're in a very touristic area in the centro de Merida, which is fine because honestly, I didn't want to have a need for a car to drive around, and that was one of the biggest things. So, and if we do need help, we have an assistant who has a car and she has a license, all that great stuff. She sent me all that information when I first interviewed her. So yeah, any questions in the comments or any comments? That'd be great. I appreciate it. Okay, bye.